Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with me, Gary Lineker, Micah Richards, and look who is back from the world's longest holiday. We've got the band back together. Here he is, Alan Shearer. Al, welcome back.
Yes, boys.
Back to Blighty.
Where have you been? Where? Honestly, you don't respond. You don't call. You don't text.
Doesn't send flowers. Nothing.
Oh, lads, it's 4 weeks today since we were last together, you know that?
God, it goes quick, doesn't it?
The last time we saw each other was about 5:30 in the morning when we left each other. It's from the final. I've been in Portugal, guys. Micah, where have you hardly been in England either, by the way, have you?
I've been in Barbados. I've been in Paris. Where else have I been? I've been down south. I've checked out every Soho house possible. I'm having a right holiday. I really am.
I've had a great time too. I've had most of my teeth out, but anyway. Well, two. I'm exaggerating. So how's your golf, Al? You must have played a lot of golf there.
I've played quite a bit of golf, guys, but as you know, the more you play, the worse I get.
Yeah.
Played a bit with Lee Westwood in Portugal. I actually, the finest round of golf I've ever seen in my life. It was incredible. He was 7 under, 7 birdies on the front nine, and then had a terrible back nine. He only had 4 under on the back nine.
11
it was
under.
incredible. 11 under. Yeah. It was a joy to be his partner. So yeah, I've played a bit of golf, but I need a break from the golf now because I'm struggling a bit. I'm pushing everything right. So
Were you thinking he was going to break 60, shoot 59?
I was actually said to him with 2 or 3 holes to go, how many times you shot below 60? And once, I think it was. He had a 7 or 8 footer on the last to get to 60, but he lipped out, so it was a 61. It was incredible.
I played with Darren Clark once. Well, lots of times I played with Darren, but he had an 8 footer to get 59 at Queenwood off, and
really
unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
And it horseshoed out from about 10 feet. We did the Q&A, Micah and myself, the other day, and then after it we decided to give you a little bit of stick on our group chat, and Micah, I must say, came up with this wonderful text. I've got it in front of me. I'm going to read it out. He says, "Hi Al, don't really like asking, but we'd love to have you on our pod. It's me and Gary Lineker. I know you guys played together a few times, but he's shit scared to ask you. We'd really love your thoughts on the Community Shield and your stellar career. I know it's short notice, but we're filming this Sunday. Totally flexible. If you'd rather me deal with your agent, could you kindly pass on the details? Thank you so much."
Micah, you had me worried. I thought I'd missed how so many of you guys working together, doing different pods, and yet I rush back because I feel all guilty that I might not be watching the Community Shield and I might not be able to do tonight's pod. And I rush back, and you've done fucking one without me.
Well, no, I've done a couple of others as well, by the way. I interviewed Nick.
Well, I saw that, yes. I saw that, yeah.
Anyway, welcome back, Alan.
Oh, sorry about that, Al. I just thought it'd be fun.
Don't worry, I'll get an earlier flight. I'll make sure I cancel golf so I can watch the Community Shield, just so I can come back on with you two boys. It's all right.
Mikey, you've just been to Paris you went to watch the men's football final.
Oh, it was, yeah. Shout out to Thierry, getting me a ticket. Wonderful experience. Went down to London, got the train across, which I absolutely loved the train.
More freebies for you.
What was that, Alan?
More freebies.
Well, yeah. It's who you know, as they say.
That is true.
And I hate flying, so I thought I'd get the train. And what a great experience it is. You go there 20 minutes before, no messing around, bags straight through, and then straight to Paris. I think it's Gare du Nord.
Gare du Nord, that's right. Yeah, that's where it goes from. Yeah,
straight to the hotel. Had a quick kip, and then I got a Lime bike to the stadium.
Did you?
Have you ever done one of those, guys?
I tried. I couldn't work how to work it, but
Tell us, Micah. What?
How did you know the way?
You can put the sat nav on your phone. There's like a little bit of plastic on the front of the bike which holds your phone together. Put the address in, away you go. Took me 15 minutes to cycle down there. It's wonderful. It was like 30 odd degrees as well. Maybe I'm exaggerating. About 27, 28 degrees. Went down there by myself. Went into the stadium. A few City fans were there, actually. Shout out the City fans. And then sat down in some wonderful seats. And then the game was even more
incredible game,
entertaining. It was really good. France went 1-up early doors. When you're at a game, you sort of try to watch it as a fan, not just analyse it about different rotations and defensive positions and how the strikers play. I was just watching Thierry Henry and Gaël Clichy on the sideline, what information they was giving to players. And Thierry's so cool, isn't he? Just on the sideline. He's just like, arms crossed, looks cool. Even when they scored, he was cool. Even when Spain scored, he was cool. But I tell you what, Spain have got some top young players in defence, midfield. Young boy who come on and scored 2 in extra time. But when they scored their first goal, I thought this was it. But Spain, what they did in the Euros, what they've done at youth level, and then what they've done at Olympics, are just the coaching is just incredible to watch. So just don't panic, keep the ball. Once they went in front and made it 3-1, I thought there was no hope. France got a little bit lucky at the end with a foul. Mateta took
VAR, wasn't it?
Pressured penalty. Wow, it was VAR. Yeah, Mateta scores, and I thought the momentum was with France to go on and win it. But then, Spain just scored one goal on a counter-attack and one goal that was just beautiful, threaded football. But it was just a joy to be there, joy to watch. And I think probably in the end, Spain deserved it.
Did you meet up with Thierry after or not?
I spoke to him after, yeah. But obviously, you don't. It's one of those things where you don't want to be that busy friend, do you? Or that busy guy. And I just sent him a text. We spoke briefly. I just told him, well done. Still get a silver medal. But obviously, he would have been a little bit devastated he didn't get the goals.
Well, you were just saying now, what a summer Spain have had, haven't they? I mean, Real Madrid, Champions League, Spain win the Euros, then they win the gold. They got the gold medal at the Olympics. They don't lose finals, Spanish, do they? That record's it goes even bigger now. 20, it's up to 23, 24 or something. Consecutive finals that they've won.
Micah, I only followed the scores as they were flashing up, so I didn't see any of the game. Were they the better team and they deserved to win it, Spain? Yeah,
it was one of those games where Spain hit the bar, France hit the post, I think it was, in the game, and France really started playing when they went like a goal or two behind. I don't know, and they had the crowd, which were incredible as well. But I don't know. I just think Spain, at any time, they could create something if they needed to. France has some really good players.
Spain play in a similar manner to how they did in the Euros, like high press or different?
So they tried to play out from the back. Thierry's teams always like to play out. They played sort of like a 4-3-1-2. So Elise plays in the hole, but then goes to the right to make it sort of a 4-3-3 at times when they're pressing. He had unbelievable games as well. Elise, goal or assist in pretty much every game. Lacazette got subbed after about 51 minutes. It really works really hard for the team, but just missing that little bit of sharpness.
That's a fantastic answer, Micah, but I was asking you about Spain.
I thought he said France.
You've been on the red wine this afternoon or what?
That was brilliant the way you just waited as well. You waited to finish my answer, and then you've absolutely... Spain played... similar. I would say similar to the first team, but the attack more, I would say, with their fullbacks. So their wingers come really central to leave space for their fullbacks. But in terms of high press, keeping the ball, all the same characteristics. They're just absolutely brilliant to watch.
And what was the buzz like around the stadium?
All the same what?
Whoops.
What was that? All the same what?
Characteristics.
Yes, Micah.
What are you trying to do to me?
We're back.
The buzz.
Yeah, around the Olympics in general and all, and in Paris, what was the atmosphere like?
The buzz was what you would expect it to be. I mean, obviously, because I went to the Olympics in London, that can't be matched as an Englishman. But in terms of the buzz around the town, it was brilliant. Everyone was really well behaved. And it's a different environment, I would say, with Olympics. I'm not going to say it's not your hardcore fans who go, but there was loads of different families that went. So the atmosphere was brilliant. I wish I would have went early, really, and watched some other events because Paris is such a beautiful place.
Paris is amazing, isn't it? It's lovely.
Oh, honestly, I was just like, oof. I could live here.
My daughter lives in Paris and says the atmosphere has been incredible. Yeah,
the 4 seasons I stayed at Paris, wowzers!
Only the best for big meets.
There you go. That's another weekend free for you. You've just mentioned the 4 seasons. Well
Is
done.
she speaking French now, Al? Is she cracking the language?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, well, quite a bit actually. Yeah.
She got a Geordie accent with it. Oh. I think we should give a shout out as well here to the USA women's team, because obviously they were coached by Emma Hayes, who was in charge of Chelsea's women so successfully for so long, and to get that gold medal, what a great start for her.
I saw her interview afterwards, and she was, understandably so, really emotional. But yeah, what a job! I mean, to go in there straight away and do that, wow, it was incredible. And she said it's without doubt the highlight of her life, and you can imagine, rightly so as well. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're very good. The women's USA team, that remarkable record of winning Olympic gold medals. That's for sure. Let's talk about the Community Shield. I mean, there's a trophy at stake, but it very much had the feel, didn't it, of pre-season friendly. Although obviously the reaction when they win is, you want to win that trophy. So what did you make of it? I know we rushed you home, Alan. You decided to actually watch it, and I felt guilty at one point because the first hour was pretty turgid.
We were texting each other, weren't we, saying, "I cannot believe you three have made me rush home from golf rather than having a couple of pints with my pals to watch that." But it did actually get better after that, didn't it? It kicked into life after about 70 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, a goal makes a difference as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Man United did all right. They certainly had the better chances. I mean, I think their Garnacho's goal was the first effort on target from either side. So that tells you it wasn't a great game up until then. But Rashford missed a couple of big chances, didn't he? I thought Man United did all right,
I thought so too, but you have to remember, I think if the City team was very youthful, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it was, but there's one player from Man City who
Oscar Bob.
I mean,
yeah.
And I'm not just saying it because of this game. If you watch the highlights, Man City pre-season, he's been the best player. He's been the best player by far, and I really hope he can take that form into the season, because you know what it's like. There's always a good youngster who emerges himself in pre-season, and a season starts, and then he sort of gets an opportunity, doesn't really take it. But I just think Oscar Bob could be the difference for Man City this season. That's how good I think he is. Playing on that right-hand side, it's going to be difficult because you know how Pep sometimes likes to rotate, whether he'll put Foden at right at times. Now that Kevin De Bruyne is fit, will he play Bernardo Silva? But Bernardo Silva came on and Oscar Bob was still on the field. So I really hope he's the one this season.
I imagine he'll probably start the first few games, because obviously a lot of players coming back late from international duty. Obviously people like Haaland will start because he wasn't involved in the Euros. It's quite difficult, I would imagine, for managers now. There's so many players that they come late in, and you've got to do a separate pre-season for them. It must be, quite complex. And when do you bring them back into the starting lineup? And most teams now have got so many internationals as well. It doesn't just apply to the the so-called Big Six.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been the norm for a while, hasn't it? In terms of players playing in World Cups or European tournaments, and then having to have the 3 or 4 weeks off that they need and have to have ready to go again. So I think clubs are certainly the size of squad of Man City. You can be, I wouldn't say more relaxed about it, but they wouldn't. It's not a problem for these bigger clubs now because they've got so many good players that they can just put other players in.
The only thing, they've got Chelsea first game, haven't they? And I think the Premier League is going to be a lot tighter this year.
Do you think?
I think Arsenal will be even stronger.
I do, yeah. I think it'll be tighter.
I don't think you can afford to... And it's not waste games. I think Nico O'Reilly did okay in midfield as well. Give it away a couple of times. But if you look at someone like Ruben Diaz, that was his first... He'd been back training that week and he played, I think he played a full game, didn't he? So I think once the talent's back, they might use the first couple of games to get their fitness. I don't think we'll see as many youngsters as we did in the Community Shield.
How much can we read into that particular game, though, looking ahead to the season? Particularly, we know Man City are going to be up there and challenging. Obviously, they'll be favourites again. But in terms of Manchester United, it's tough to read too much into that, isn't it?
No, I think they look organised. Yeah. I think the fact that it looks like they've got De Ligt through the door, Mazuari through the door as well. I think when we talk about Man United and how they play and the structure of the team, sometimes they sit really deep because they've not got the pace. Now, if you get De Ligt in the team, he's I won't say he's rapid, but he's not as slow as someone like a Maguire. And that's no disrespect to Maguire on the turn. So I think he can be a little bit more adventurous. I think now you've got players like Ahmed Diallo as well, pushing for a start. Garnacho comes off the bench and makes an impact. Rashford, although he should be taking his chances, he's still getting those chances. I thought Bruno Fernandes was excellent really as well. And Casemiro, in terms of his passing and his movement. So when you look at it, you can't take too much away from it, but they are playing a team that love to have the ball and can make you look stupid, and that wasn't the case. So there's definitely positive to take from Man United's performance.
No, agreed. I thought they were. I thought they deserved to win. Actually, I mean, I know when it goes to penalties and they leave it so late, and then Bernardo Silva comes on and scores. But there's no doubt they had the better chances, and I like you. I thought Fernandes in midfield. Some of his passing was incredible, wasn't it? I mean, balls in behind for them to run into. So I think it'll be a lot tighter this season up at that top end. There's no doubt.
Shame his goal disallowed as well, Bruno Fernandes. That was an amazing finish, wasn't it?
It was really some finish, wasn't it? Yeah, he was just offside, though.
Yeah, it was. He definitely was, just by a foot or so. The penalty shootout was interesting, particularly the Haaland one, wasn't it? When Onana tried to kind of, and they told him where to put it.
Yeah.
What is he doing? What is he doing? I don't mind the mind games, but if they don't come off, he looks stupid, don't they?
It was quite funny because he just started running across his line and then dived away from where the ball was.
You know, when he was pointing there, you were just thinking, there's no way he's standing there where he is. You know exactly where he's going, don't you?
The thing is with that, so he goes a bit to, as we're watching it, to his right, our left. So even if Haaland decides to go where the biggest space is, he's got more of opportunity. We know how hard Haaland hits the ball anyway. And if he scores the side where he's not left, it looks even worse. So he might as well just stand in the middle anyway.
It reminded me actually of something when I was very young, playing for Leicester and playing at Highbury against Arsenal. And Pat Jennings was in goal, and it ended up 2-2 the game. And I went through, I had one-on-one with Pat Jennings, and I was coming in from the left. And as I looked up, I thought, Christ, he's got his angles so wrong. He's showed, like, there's 3/4 of the goal there. And I thought, oh, Christ, this is easy. And I slotted it. And before I even hit it, he started diving that way. And I went, oh, he's done me. He's absolutely done me. He got a hand on it, but it went through, hit the inside of the post and went in. I got away with it, but I thought it was very clever from him. He definitely knew what he was doing. One of the great goalkeepers. Do you remember Pat Jennings, Micah? He's a bit before your time, obviously.
I remember him, but I don't remember his performances.
Brilliant goalkeeper. He's always famous for having massive hands.
Huge hands. Yeah.
Huge hands. I felt for Johnny Evans a bit. I'm not sure he probably was volunteered for that penalty.
No, it was, and also, I mean, a Kanji, because he obviously missed against England, didn't he? So it was him that was going to have the chance to go and win it, and he did, and he stuck it away well. But yeah, Johnny Evans was a rotten penalty.
Championship started. We're up and running, and some interesting games. A few goals, a few late goals. Portsmouth-Leeds was quite interesting. Portsmouth went 3-2 up in injury time, and Leeds managed to equalise even after that. Some good performances. A hat-trick from Josh Maja for West Brom at QPR. Good win for Watford, winning at Millwall. 2 late goals in that game as well. Who do you think the favourites are? Possibly the relegated clubs. I think, but with the bookies, actually Leeds of firm favourites. I was in a black cab a couple of days ago, and the driver was a big Leeds fan. And I said, "Oh, you must have been gutted. You just missed out, in the playoffs last season." He said, "No." He says, "I'm much more enjoying the Championship." So I sort of get that as well, because the season's coming now, and you're thrilled that Leicester got up, but then the hard yards start when you're in the Premier League, not winning so many games. But we shall see.
What about Middlesbrough as well? I think they'll give it a good go this year. They got the win yesterday, so that was a good start for them. I don't think they'll be too far away either. Middlesbrough. I
think the relegated clubs will be close. I fancy Burnley to do quite well. Scott Parker has got that job. He took Bournemouth up, of course, didn't he? Similar kind of stature of football club. Who do you fancy, Micah?
I'll just give a shout out to Middlesbrough. I think Leeds, the way Leeds play, it's aggressive, it's very attacking. And I watched the highlights of the game yesterday, and they're dominating the game early parts of it, and then they just give away sloppy goals. They had a chance to win it, to make it 4-3 in the last kick of the game. Aronson, again, went one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he just slotted it wide of the post. I think if Leeds can stop the rot at the back, I think Leeds will do it.
That's, one of the automatic places possibly. But Luton, I think, would do well as well, because they really had a good go in the Premier League.
It just depends, though, doesn't it? When the transfer window finishes and everyone's done their business, we could probably give you a better idea in terms of our predictions. But I think there's going to be so many transfers happening before the end now.
Well, that's the hard thing. It's when people ask you to predict your winners.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's so hard at this time, because you don't know the full squads and whether they'll bring in someone late and things like that.
Injuries.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's because there's there 2 and a bit weeks left, I guess, is there? So it's a really tough one to predict, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be loads of activity in between now and the end of the window. So it's a tough one to do.
Speaking about that, what do you make of Solanke to Spurs? It's an interesting signing for Spurs. I mean, he had a brilliant season last year. That could pay off, do you think?
What was it? Was it end up 60 or 65 million or something like that, wasn't it? Yeah. He did. He had a brilliant season. I think that was definitely an area where Spurs have had to strengthen. So I think he'll do well for them.
They got 19 goals with Bournemouth last season.
He's got good movement, hasn't he? I think the only thing I will say, and not to be negative, is the Bournemouth team was built around him, whereas it'll definitely give him a better option. I just think sometimes going to a bigger club, there's a little bit more pressure. I think he'll suit the way they want to play.
He struggled a little bit at Liverpool, but
and he was only young. He was only young then,
exactly.
but he was young then. But I think it's a very good signing. I think 65 million's a lot of money, but I think he had something different to what they have there already.
Yeah,
they needed a 9, no doubt about that.
Definitely.
Did you notice David De Gea's finally signed for someone? See that?
Who's he signed for?
For your old team, Micah.
Firenze, of course he has.
Fiorentina.
All the top players go to Florence, mate.
And the real top players stay there for quite a long time. Fantastic.
Me and Batistuta and Salah and Mario Gomez, Marco Alonso, Neto. The list goes on and on.
Micah Richardson.
How long were you there?
About 9 months.
The other news, of course, which is quite interesting, is that we have a caretaker manager or an interim manager for the English national team. Lee Carsley, who's been in charge very successfully of the under-21s. So it's are they buying themselves time? Maybe they're having a look at him, see how he goes. Obviously, we've not seen him coaching, big clubs, but he's been involved for some time. It worked for Spain, didn't it, with De La Fuente, who kind of similar fashion came through the ranks. What do we make of that?
It was similar with Gareth, wasn't it?
Yeah,
in terms of how he got the job. Yeah, I get that and I understand that, and I'm reasonably happy with that. I think that it would have been foolish for them to rush in to just do it for the sake of it. They can take the time. He's done a fabulous job with the under-21, so he'll know a lot of the players. So I think that's a very wise decision.
I think I'd agree with Alan. I think it's a wise decision. Would it have been the number one choice? Probably not. But in terms of manager who knows the youngsters, I spoke to Jolien Lescott, who I believe is going on the coaching team. He really knows how to get the best out of his players, takes no nonsense, really good tactically, wants to play attacking football.
Jolien's going with him, is he?
I believe so.
Oh, right,
yes,
great.
I believe it was with him at the 21s when they won the tournament.
Has he done his badges and everything, Jolien?
Yes, he's done. I believe everything. So
I did see an interview though a few days ago with Pep Guardiola, where he was asked in the press conference about would he be interested in England, and mostly people put that away. But he certainly didn't. And it made me think, the way he was talking, I thought, he actually might be interested in this job. So, and the fact that they've appointed Carsley as an interim coach, and the fact Pep's, I think, contract ends at the end of the season, maybe a little bit of wishful thinking here, but could you imagine Pep Guardiola in charge of the team?
There are a few people, or a couple of people, that have actually said that to me, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a rumor, but hey, you never know. Which is why I think it's a wise decision for them to give it to Lee Carsley and just take the time and see what happens. I mean, they've got a game in what, a month's time, less.
Yeah.
So I think it would have been really difficult to appoint someone in that short amount of time. So this gives them time to sit back and see and look at the bigger picture.
So what's the opinion of the English manager or the England manager not being English? Would you take someone like Pep, even though he's Spanish? But this is what I mean.
Of course
I said it a month ago. I said it. I would take Pep. You all laughed at me.
Well, I didn't think that.
But no one's laughing anymore.
I think the difference, perhaps, with someone like Pep or even Klopp, or even Ancelotti or someone like that, would be the fact that they do have Premier League experience, and they've so they've been involved in English football for quite some time. Pep has, so we can pretend he's English. It's a long shot.
People don't matter. This is what I was trying to say at the time. People don't care. If Pep was to go to England and win, what's the next tournament? The World Cup. Wow. Come on. No one would care. It's about winning at the end of the day. Southgate did a stellar job getting us to finals, but if we could just get someone to take us over the line. No one would care what nationality he is.
Absolutely agree. And on that positive note, we'll call it a day for this episode of The Rest is Football. We'll be back on Wednesday where we will be answering your questions. And then on Friday, we'll do what we did last year. We'll do our predictions for this season in the Premier League when we'll go through every single team. And actually last season we did pretty well, I thought. Didn't we?
Who had the better results last year?
I don't know. I can only remember the Euros when I won convincingly. Okay, well, that's it. We'll see you again on Wednesday. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. Have a good week.